What is the mission? Sometimes we just glaze over our mission statement. Sometimes we don't even say our mission statement. We don't even say, like, what is the purpose of us doing this? Like, why am I here? Because ultimately, when people are on your webinar, they're looking for a leader. They are a follower and they're looking for a leader. Welcome to Sold with Webinars, a podcast that aims to uncover how the most successful experts, coaches, consultants, and e-course professionals sell their products and services with just one sales presentation or webinar. A simple sales webinar can transform the business and life of a solopreneur. And this podcast will show you how other experts just like you are generating 6 and 7 figures per year online with their webinars. If you'd like to join our Facebook community where I share exclusive members-only content, join our Sold with Webinars Facebook group. For blogs, content, and information about our webinar services, visit thewebinaragency.com. And to download a free comprehensive 6-month, $466,000 webinar case study, go to soldwithwebinars.com. Now, let's get started. Hey, what's going on? And welcome to another very special episode of Sold with Webinars. I am super jazzed about today's episode today. I want to come at you with a very unique angle. I don't know if this is going to get serious or not. I always try to keep these lighthearted and fun, but I do have a topic that is related to webinar marketing and webinar sales that is going to take a little bit of a different route today. My wife and I have just finished up watching a documentary series called Terror in the Jungle. It's about the true events of the People's Temple, which is a cult that formed in the 1970s. This tribe started out in, I think it was Indiana, then moved to California, and then ultimately flew down to Guyana, which is in South America. They built a tribe of about 1,000 people down there and ended up with a very tragic circumstance of over 900 people committing mass suicide, the largest mass suicide in history. So what on earth does this have to do with our topic of webinars today? Over the past 3 years or so, 4 years or so, I was turned on to this idea of cult building and cult following. Now, I do not have a cult myself. I do not have a cult following myself. I have no intention to develop a cult following myself. From an external perspective, I was actually brought on to this topic inside of Russell Brunson's mastermind, Inner Circle Mastermind. He started talking about this about 3 or 4 years ago. And he has built a cult-like following inside of the Funnel Hacker community. So I started studying cults because it fascinated me. It really intrigued me how people can commit to something and follow something that on the outside looking in, so many other people that are not involved inside of the cult can clearly identify something wrong with the cult. But yet the members inside don't, most of them will not see what's going on, right? They're trapped inside this bubble and they can't see that outside perspective, kind of like a version of the expert's curse, right? You can't read the label from inside the bottle. And so I started studying this. We've watched quite a few documentaries on cults and the journey of specific cults. And the People's Temple, which was the documentary that we watched, Terror in the Jungle, the People's Temple cult was just the latest one that we watched. So it's fresh in my mind. And I want to talk about a couple of things that I picked out from that documentary that applies to us in an ethical way if you want to, as you're trying to boost your marketing, your sales conversions, and specifically with webinars, right? When you get to the end of Terror in the Jungle of this documentary, they start interviewing some of the cult members who escaped. And they're telling their story, they're telling their accounts, they're telling their experiences of what happened inside of the cult. And this has held true with every single documentary that I've watched where they interview former cult members. At some point, they will talk about their experience. And in this documentary, one of the members said, he was reflecting on why they joined the cult in the first place. And they'll say, I was attracted because I really believed in the mission of what they were trying to accomplish. I really believed that we were going to be making a difference in the world. Now, I'm paraphrasing here. These aren't exact quotes, but this is essentially what they were saying. They had a firm belief in the higher purpose, in the collective of the group. That was what got them bought in to joining the group. And when you buy in with such conviction, no matter what is happening during the longevity of that group, because there were plenty other horrible things that happened inside of this group before the end, where the mass suicide happened, but they all stuck around. And this is what's been really fascinating to me, is studying why they all stuck around even after horrible things were happening. They went through abuse, they went through violence, they went through just crazy things before the end of it, right? And so they asked them, why did you join? And the response is just very, very intriguing to me. So this person's response was, I really believed that we were going to be making a difference in the world. I really believed in, whatever the mission statement was of this group. The same thing was said for another cult that I studied. Now, these people, they all survived, and they were interviewing a bunch of them, and they said, this was a telltale sign. After it all came out, and I think the leader had died or been murdered or something like that, or maybe went to prison, right, after the cult was kind of disassembled. They were interviewing a few of the cult members, and they said, okay, now that you've come out the other end of it, would you do it all again? And it was astounding. I want to say like 80% of the people that they asked, even after they had gone through such physical and violent and emotional abuse, they said that yes, they would still go through it again, and they would still do it again. Because once they bought into that higher power, that higher purpose, they were connected with community, and community is what built their bonds and built their friendships and built the long-lasting relationships. All these cults have community, and they have higher purpose as connection points, right? Similarities. They have the higher purpose, the big mission statement, and they've got community. And what's so fascinating is that when it's all said and done, they either still believed in the mission, or they would even go so far as to say that they would go through it again. Now that is powerful. That is powerful. So what on earth does this have to do with us dumb marketers, right? Us marketers just promoting our programs and promoting our offers. What does this mean to us? Well, number one, it highlights the importance of conversion, highlights the importance of needing to connect with your audience on a higher purpose, right? What is the mission? Sometimes we just glaze over our mission statement. Sometimes we don't even say our mission statement. We don't even say what is the purpose of us doing this? Why am I here? Because ultimately, when people are on your webinar, they're looking for a leader. They are a follower and they're looking for a leader. And if they want to follow you, they're looking to connect with somebody who's got a bigger purpose in mind, right? This is particularly important for the reason why I'm saying this is because with webinars, we have a mass market platform. We have a one-to-many platform where we're using this to grow an audience, to grow a following, right? A lot of you that are listening right now, you may want to be an influencer in your space. You may want to be a leader, and people who are signing up for your webinar and they're listening to your message, they have to connect to you because they're looking for a leader. Establishing that strong mission statement is extremely crucial to developing that following of people who are going to buy in for the long run. If they do buy in, they'll go through the ups and downs. Like if you're just launching your program or, you go through changes, they'll go through the ups and downs with you because they've bought into that overall mission statement. I can't tell you, I really just don't even feel comfortable telling you what some of these cults have done to their members, and they've still stuck around. It's because they've bought into that higher purpose, and they've bought into whatever is going on right now. It's to serve that higher purpose. Now, be ethical about this and be truthful, because that's the number one thing that people buy into most is honesty and truth. But it's fascinating to realize how important your mission statement and that higher purpose of connecting with why they are really on the webinar today. Why is it that they're on the webinar today? Yes, they've got problems. What are those problems? What are they trying to serve? But what will solving that problem do for them? What is their higher purpose? And if you can connect their mission statement with your mission statement, now you've built the bond. Now you've built the bond, which is what we talk about a lot, of building that bond. And that bond can be so incredibly strong that it can be near impossible to break. And the only reason why I bring that up is because I look at these cult followers and these cult leaders who have built such a strong bond that they can do so many things to damage that relationship, but they've still got the followers and they've still got people that say, you know what? I would do it again because I built a family. My friends are in here, right? This community is a part of me. They buy in with the mission statement and then they stay for the community. So that's what I want to leave you with today. How are you going to build your bond? How are you going to set that future life of what your audience is looking for? If you can connect your mission statement and set that future vision, right? This is all about future pacing and setting that future vision. And you can truly connect your mission statement with their mission statement. They might not even know what their mission statement is. And so doing the legwork and helping them come out with that in the introduction of your webinar is going to lay the foundation to build that incredibly strong bond of people who are going to be loyal to you to the ends of the earth. That's what I've got for you today. Hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And if you do, if you enjoyed me connecting the dots with some external circumstances and relating it to webinars, I would appreciate an email over at joel@thewebinaragency.com. Let me know what you thought about this episode. I'm always looking for feedback. And if you really enjoyed this episode and it made that light bulb go off in your mind, like, okay, great, now I know how to apply this to my webinar. Now I know how to apply this to my marketing and my sales, because this is also applicable to any sort of marketing that you do. But do me a favor and just provide an honest review over at iTunes and review this podcast. And I'm always looking for feedback of ways that I can improve this. So that's what I've got for you today. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we look forward to meeting you in the next one. For blogs, content, and information about our webinar services, be sure to visit thewebinaragency.com. If you'd like to download a free, comprehensive 6-month, $466,000 webinar case study, go to soldwithwebinars.com. And if you'd like to join our Facebook community where I share exclusive members-only content, join our Sold with Webinars Facebook group. Finally, if you enjoy this content, be sure to give us an honest review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Join us next time, and I'll see you there.